What's up, my Central Units? It's the Central Man here, so back again with another WCW pay-per-view review. So we're getting away from the Monday Night War era of WCW in those late 90s to the pre-Monday Night War era in the early 90s. So we're traveling back to the year of 1991. So this show, you can call it a post-Ric Flair pay-per-view. That is the 1991 Great American Bash at the Baltimore Arena. Right now it's called the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, on the 14th of July, 1991. The attendance for the show was 9,320. The 1991 Great American Bash received about 145,000 pay-per-view buys, a downgrade than the 1990 Great American Bash from the previous year. I think the main event was Sting defeated Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. The 1990 Great American Bash received about 200,000 pay-per-view buys. Wow, night and day, folks. One got like a good buy rate, and the other not so much. The commentators for the show are Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone. Right now, they are part of the commentary team in AEW alongside Excalibur. So this show is remembered for bad things, bad matches. Like I said, this is a post-Ric Flair pay-per-view because he was supposed to defend the world title on this show, but he got fired by Jim Herd, took the big gold belt with him to the WWF. I'll get more of the details when I talk about the world title match later on in this review. So, yeah, this show is memorable for bad matches, and the fans were chanting, "We want Flair." We'll get to that part also later on in this review. So, and by the way, 11 matches on the show. Wow, that's too many matches, by the way. And this show is a 2 hours 50 minutes, nearly 3 hours, by the way. Anyway, so the first match to kick off the 1991 Great American Bash, we got a tag team scaffold match. Shit. We got Stunning Steve Austin and Terrence Taylor with Lady Blossom. Lady Blossom is the wife of Steve Austin at the time, and later years, Austin ended up marrying Deborah, who's married to Steve Mungo McMichael. By the way, it's a bit of a side note, by the way. They've taken on beautiful Bobby Eaton and PN News. Shit! So, this is just not an ordinary, normal scaffold match. This is a capture the flag scaffold match. What the fuck? I don't like scaffold matches in pro wrestling. I don't know who come up with this whole idea to do this type of match because you can't do anything on top of the scaffold. The only time I cover a scaffold match in this history of this channel was Ultra Class 93. That was an ECW show. I think it was one with JT Smith. I don't like these matches. Like I said, the wrestlers are handcuffed up top of the scaffold. You can't do anything. Basically, you have to throw your opponent off the scaffold. I don't mind the Ultimate X matches in TNA. That's fine, but this is stupid. The goal of this, you have to basically capture the other team's flag and basically climb down the scaffold. So, try to keep it short and simple. I think it was Beautiful Bobby and PN News got the victory, and then afterwards, I think you had Austin. Basically, and by the way, Austin is the TV champion. Oh yeah, I think Austin spray. I think it was Beautiful Bobby in the face with some like Lady Blossom's hairspray or some shit. So that was it. I think it was Terrence Taylor, not Terrence Taylor. Beautiful Bobby and PN News. I don't really care about this match. For many wrestling fans, this match is technically the worst match in Steve Austin's career, whether it's in WCW, ECW, and also in the WWE. So let's move on to the next match. So yeah, worst opener I ever seen in my life. You know, when I start watching wrestling, you know, it's just the worst opener. It's just who come up with the whole idea? Because at the time, Dusty Rhodes is the booker of WCW, but yeah, scaffold match. The first time I watched a scaffold match, I think it was a Road Warriors documentary. This was at the time Hawk passed away. Jim Cornette compete in a scaffold match. He ended up blowing both his knees. That's just like is a proof that I don't like it. People can get badly hurt. So let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we got the Diamond Stud. That is the future of Razor Ramon. It's the late great Scott Hall with Diamond Dallas Page in his corner. Because this is before DDP ended up feuding with the NWO. That was in the Monday Night War era of WCW. Because at the time he was kind of like a manager before he actually became a wrestler. Taking on the Z-Man Tom Zenk. The match was okay. Wasn't terrible. Wasn't anything going to be like a 4-star classic. It ain't a 4-star classic. This is more of a 2-star classic. Way better than the opener because the opener is a dud. But in the end, the Diamond Stud hits the Z-Man with a bridge suplex pin for the win. I think that's before Scott Hall ended up doing the Razors / Outsider's Edge. That'll be in later years of his career. So match number 3. Holy shit, this is getting worse, man. We got Oz. That's the future Diesel. Right now is Kevin Nash with the Wizard. Or Merlin the Wizard, that is Kevin Sullivan under a mask, taking on Ron Simmons, who's at this moment in time broke away from Doom. Doom was officially no more. Well, let's talk about the entrance of Oz. I think Oz debuted at Super Brawl not the previous month, but in May. He came out with the castle, but unfortunately, it's not the Wizard of Oz castle, or that is the Castle Grayskull. They're confused with the Wizard of Oz mythology to the He-Man mythology, because if it was the Oz castle, you probably have the Yellow Brick Road and you get Dorothy, Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and Toto, the black dog. Yeah, that sucked. It was just punch, punch, punch. Trying to keep it short and simple, folks. Yeah, drink, man. Trying to keep it short and simple. I'm trying to say. I'm speaking too fast, by the way. So yeah. They kind of confuse. Oz like he's from He-Man, but in reality, Oz is a place. If you read and watch Wizard of Oz. Anyway, so it's just punch, punch, punch. Big power moves. Trying to keep it short and simple. In the end, Simmons got the victory over Oz. Basically. He hit a shoulder block, or no, it was a shoulder tackle to win this match. So, yeah, Simmons went on to win the world title, become the first Black World Champion the following year. This is the second to last pay-per-view for Oz, because his last pay-per-view match with that gimmick was against Bill Kazmaier at Halloween Havoc later on in that year in October. Go and check out my review of the 1991 Halloween Havoc show. And then he ended up repackaged as Vinny Vegas. You can say it's a better gimmick than Oz, because I get it. It's paying homage to pop culture. Kevin Nash with that stupid look. He dyed his hair grey because he had grey hair later on. Later on in life. In his run in TNA. He mostly had black hair and blonde hair, or slightly with a little bit of grey. But it was completely stupid. Kevin Sullivan as Merlin, because Merlin's not part of the Wizard of Oz mythology. He's from the King Arthur mythology. I'm moving on. I'm rambling, by the way, but I'm trying to get my point out. I'm trying to say, but crap match. Let's move on to the next match. So match number 4. This is a good match. We got Richard Morton with Alexander York. That's the future, Terry Runnels. Marlena. I think at the time she was married to Dustin Rhodes. Taking on Robert Gibson. The Rock and Roll Express exploded. I think at the previous clash, Ricky Morton really turned on Robert Gibson, joined the York Foundation. He became Richard Morton. I really praise that gimmick, with Terrence Taylor. Terry Taylor becomes Terrence Taylor. Ricky Morton becomes Richard Morton. They added Tommy Rich, become Thomas Rich. Yeah, the gimmick was very shorted because it has to do with the Dangerous Alliance. If they did this gimmick right now, because we're in the era of computers, that gimmick will get over like gangbusters. Anyway, so the match between Morton and Gibson, it was a good match. It was a 4-star classic. You got a little bit of high, fast-paced stuff. The whole bulk of the match, you had Morton working on the leg of Robert Gibson. I think like Jim Ross or Tony Schiavone said that Gibson suffered a knee injury or had a knee operation months ago. He kind of worked on the leg of Robert Gibson, locked in the figure 4 leg lock, because at this moment in time, like I said, Ric Flair is no longer with the company. In the end, trying to keep it short and simple. In the end, Morton hit Gibson in the head with Alexander York's computer for the win. It's funny, like in this show you got great example, Steve Austin, you've got Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, DDP, Alexander York, and end up becoming stars in the Monday Night War era in those mid to late 90s. Doing their previous gimmicks compared to gimmicks they're gonna have will get them over in the later on in the 90s. So it's just like fascinating. Like one's got like one that got like previous gimmicks that kind of get over, something like that. To their gimmicks will be more successful. So anyway, so moving on to the next match. So the next match, this is a 6-man elimination tag team match. We've got the Fabulous Freebirds. That is Michael P.S. Hayes, Jimmy Jam Garvin, and Bad Street. Bad Street is, I think it was Brad Armstrong in a mask, taking on, the Young Pistols. That is Tracy Smothers and Steve Armstrong. Steve and Brad Armstrong are the brothers of Road Dogg Jesse James and Dustin Rhodes, the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, who's the booker of WCW at this time, the future Goldust, the future Seven, and the future Black Rain in TNA. So, here's a bit of the side note. The Freebirds are the 6-man tag team champions and also the United States tag team champions. So they carry the belts. I'm not gonna go how they won the 6-man tag team belts. I don't want to get into it. I heard rumors like AEW is gonna do a 6-man tag team championships. Don't want to get into it. Another topic for another time. The match is good. I really like this match. It was a bit boring, but they told a good story. You got some fast-paced moves, like action-packed moves. And by the way, in the corner of the Freebirds, you've got Big Daddy Dink. That is Oliver Himpendink. The match was good. The first person got eliminated was Steve Armstrong. Steve Armstrong got eliminated by Michael P.S. Hayes and on Bad Street. And then afterwards, Hayes got himself eliminated. Got himself, not disqualified, but eliminated. Basically, he throwed Steve Armstrong over the top rope. And at the time, it's a no-no. I hate that type of rules. It's just stupid. It's just like, and he's already eliminated. Why? I don't want to get into it. So yeah, Hayes got eliminated. The final two were like Jimmy Garvin, Bad Street, Dustin Rhodes, and Tracy Smothers. Bad Street and Garvin eliminate Tracy Smothers. So, by the way, they changed the name. The original name for Young Pistols is supposed to be they used to be called the Wild Eye Southern Boys. They changed it for whatever reason to the Young Pistols. Don't know. Smothers got eliminated by Bad Street and Garvin. And then Dustin Rhodes eliminated Bad Street. He ended up, changing it to Fantasia. And he has different gimmicks, Brad Armstrong, because he ended up getting, changed their gimmicks and names due to copyright issues. WCW has known for getting sued by, whether it's the WWF, Disney, Marvel, whatever. So, anyway, in the end, Dustin Rhodes hit, basically, he did like a bulldog onto Bad Street, and at the same time hit Big Daddy Dink with a drop kick to win this match. So yeah, it was a good match. It was I don't really like match of the night. It was a really fun match to watch. But unfortunately, you thought after this match, this match is probably the turning point. Or actually, the next match, you thought this match is the turning point of the show. Unfortunately, you are wrong. So I'm trying to keep it short and simple. So the next match, we got Johnny B. Bad. That's the future Mark Marrow. With Teddy Long, in his corner, who's managing Johnny B. Bad at the time, the future SmackDown GM. Holla, 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 player, taking on the Yellow Dog. The Yellow Dog, by the way, is Brian Pillman under the mask. So here's the backstory. Pillman lost a loser leaves WCW match that was against Barry Windham. And who come up with this whole idea to have Brian Pillman wearing yellow, a yellow mask, yellow tights, and he's going into a ring, walking a yellow, basically a golden retriever. I don't want to get into it. Crap gimmick, you know. You don't never talk about this gimmick in the history of Brian Pillman's career. And also, he shouted, like, Johnny's not be bad, Johnny's be gay, there were a lot of faggot chants. You're not going to see that in today's pro wrestling, LGBT, don't want to get into it. But, the match was okay. And by the way, I think, like, they said that, like, if the Yellow Dog gets pinned, and he'll be forced to unmask, and if it's Brian Pillman, he will not be reinstated to WCW. So the match was okay. It wasn't a 4-star classic. It was short in my opinion. They did what they did in 6 minutes, but I wish they went a bit longer because the other two matches, Moran and Gibson, and the 6-man tag team match went long, went about almost 20 minutes. I wish they sacrificed some minutes and give it to this match. B. Bad and Pillman, or the Yellow Dog, because they're both good workers in the ring. So, in the end, Teddy Long got in the ring, like just before the referee trying to do the 3 count. Like Teddy Long trying to pull the mask off the Yellow Dog, trying to reveal that's Brian Pillman, got himself the DQ. Yeah, the Yellow Dog won this match via the DQs. And it made Johnny B. Bad look weak because this is his first pay-per-view match. Because I think he debuted at Super Brawl in May. So it's just, it's just what it is. And as for the Yellow Dog, he ended up becoming Flying Brian. Got reinstated at Howling Havoc in October. He became the first light heavyweight champion. Go and check my review of WCW Howling Havoc 1991. So that was match number 6. Holy shit, we got the 2 matches. Holy fuck. This is a lumberjack match. We got, what was it? Bad Blood. I think Bad Blood is Billy Jack Haynes. I'm not really too sure. Look it up. Just write it down in the comment section below. Taking on Big Josh. Big Josh is Big Josh is Matt Bourne, and he is going to be the first Doink in the WWF when he debuted in the company in the following year in 1992. This is shit. This is more about the Lumberjacks. Some wrestlers in the Lumberjacks are Dustin Rhodes, Bobby Eaton, the Dicks. The Dicks. That is Dick Murdoch and Dick Slater. In the end, there's typical just punch, 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 kick, kick, kick. It was crap. In the end, Dustin Rhodes hit Bad Blood with the handle of the axe without the top part. He hit him with the handle of the axe to allow Big Josh getting the victory. Yeah, bad gimmicks, folks. Bad fucking gimmicks. One's got like a lumberjack gimmick, and the other got like an executioner gimmick. So, and moving on to another bad match. It's just what it is, man. I'm laughing my ass off. This is so bad. We'll get to my final rating of the show in the end. But anyway, so the next match, we got El Gigante. That is the future Giant Gonzalez in the WWF, taking on the one-man gang with Kevin Sullivan in his corner. They self-proclaimed shaved off Giant Gonzalez's head. Basically get some heat. The match sucked. I'm sorry. Yeah, basically, El Gigante carrying around with midgets. Fucking hell, this is... oh my god, I'm laughing my ass off. This is fucking terrible. Vince McMahon will jizz his pants over this shit, man. So, I'm trying to keep it short and simple. In the end, you had, basically, I think, one-man gang, who's formerly known as the African Dream Akeem in the WWF. That was a racist gimmick, by the way. Trying to throw the white powder in the face of El Gigante. Gigante kicked the powder in the face of the one-man gang, pinned him, and that was it. moving on. Shit match. I think that's it. No, actually, no, we got, and then we got, holy shit, we got Sting taking on Nikita Koloff in a Russian chain match. So the build up to this, you're basically at Super Brawl. Basically, yeah, Nikita Koloff attacked Sting, Sting. I think it was a tag team match. It's been a long time. It's been a year since I reviewed the first Super Brawl show. So, he cast Sting the tag team match on that show. Then for weeks now, there's, basically he had Nikita Koloff attack Sting with the Russian chain. Then at the previous clash, you had basically attacking Sting in front of his little stingers. So that's this match on the show. Match sucked. Actually, it was a bit okay, but I think it's still shit. And basically you have to touch all four corners. I fucking hate this match. I never liked strap matches and chain matches with touching four corners. I don't mind like using the chain, win by pinfall submission. I like that, but this I don't like. Try to keep it short and simple. It's more of a brawl, just punch, 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 punch. This is one of the worst matches for Sting. I think the worst match for Sting for me has to be the Human Touch match at the last Great American Bash in WCW history in the year 2000. Anyway, so basically in the end, all four guys, both two guys, Sting and Koloff, touching all three corners. Sting hit the Stinger splash onto Nikita Koloff, trying to hit the last corner of the ring, but he lost the match. But the collar touched the corner first, so Nikita Koloff won this match. And yeah, Sting got his heat back, and that was it. I'm not too sure they did the blow off. It just made Sting like Joe. It just made Sting like a jamoke. He's just never got like a leg on Ota Nikita Koloff. Because Nikita Koloff, I don't understand why they call it a Russian chain match, because he's now from Lithuania. I simply do not fucking get it. It just made Sting like a joke. And I think this spot, it expired what WWE will do it years later at the 2004 Great American Bash show between Eddie Guerrero versus JBL for the WWE Championship. But that match was a bit better. You got more, it was physical, there was blood. This was no physicality, no blood, so weak. So moving on to the next match. So the next match, we got Lex Luger taking on Barry Windham for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. By the way, this bash, this Great American Bash is a solo Great American Bash under the solo WCW name. The previous year's one was NWA WCW. A bit of a side note, forgot to mention that. So here's the story. Here's the backstory. The original match for this is supposed to be Ric Flair versus Lex Luger for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And I call it, this is the post Ric Flair pay-per-view. I was right, and I wasn't right, but I think this is the post Ric Flair match. So basically, 2 weeks before this, Ric Flair got fired because he basically for, I think it was 2 years, or actually 1 year, Flair and Jim Herd, he got in a feud with Jim Herd, who was the WCW president at the time. Basically, in 1990, the previous year, Jim Herd fired Ric Flair as a booker of WCW. People don't know this, Ric Flair was the booker of WCW. Jim Herd fired him. Yeah, Ollie Anderson was the booker, and then Ollie Anderson basically left. I don't know. Dusty Rhodes stepped in as the booker. So, and here's the straw broke the camel's back. Basically, Jim Herd wants to bury Ric Flair. Basically, make Ric Flair not to be the Nature Boy anymore. So basically, want him to become Spartacus. Basically, this Roman gladiator. What the fuck? He made Flair cut his hair. Stop him using the gimmick that got him over, becoming a multiple-time world champion in the 80s, going into the 90s. So basically, Ric Flair told Jim Herd to go fuck himself. Took the big gold belt with him. I think he put a $20,000 deposit. And he ended up going to the WWF and did the whole real world champion storyline. So Barry Windham, who was supposed to be in a 6-man mixed tag team match, is now filling in for Flair. And the world title belt, it's not the big... It's basically Dusty Rhodes' old world title when he was in the Florida territory. It's not FCW in the developmental WWE. That'd be in the in those late 2000s, early 2010s, before the dawning of the NXT era. No, it's just the Florida territory, and they'll soon to become the WCW World Title. That like Vader wins, Sting wins, wings. Vader wins, Sting wins, Ron Simmons wings. Sorry, yeah, they end up doing that title later on, but yeah, it's basically a customized belt. Sorry, wings. I'm speaking too fast, by the way. I'm drinking. I need a drink, man. Yeah, they end up doing that belt. I think it was in '92. You know, like I said, Vader, Ron Simmons, Sting went on to win that title, and then the world title came back in '93. It's about the big gold belt. That'll be rechristened as the international title. That really did the whole two world title experiment that expel what WWE is doing in the first brand split, and technically the current brand split right now. But anyway, so it's a bit of a backstory. You know that's the situation. You know, I'm trying to get my points out. And also, throughout the whole show, fans chanting, "We want Flair." I hear it in this match, "We want Flair." Yeah, WWE kind of mostly edit out the "We want Flair" chants because Flair is the biggest draw, or the biggest star in WCW. And he's not coming back, you know, but it's just what it is. So this is basically the dawning of the new era. And why is it a steel cage match beats me? The cage was short. On the flip side, this was a good match. I really like this match. I don't recall match of the night. This was a good match between Luger and Wyndham. I don't think Wyndham won a world title in his career. At the time, and also in this match, Luger is the WCW United States Champion. So the match was good, back and forth between Wyndham and Luger. I prefer their match at Chi-Town Rumble in 1989 better than this. That's just me. Then you got this is a double turn. Luger enter it as a babyface, Wyndham as a heel, and then you got Mr. Hughes and Harley Race, 7-time NWA World Champion, basically told Luger to do it, hit Wyndham with a power driver. I think he called it the attitude adjustment. This before John Cena claimed it as his own. Actually, John Cena's AA is basically a fireman's carry. So Luger won this match, become the new WCW World Heavyweight Champion. His first one is his first title. I think he's been in WCW since 1987. You know, and like WCW is the future NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions. It's a good for Luger, man, because he went on to, I think it's the first of two, because he went on to win the world title again in '97 in the Monday Night War era, but that was shortened. That was before Reigns ployed, Papa Reign, because I heard it was one of WCW's biggest moments. That's before my time. I'm 28, not 38. So, but this match was good. This is a double turn because now Wyndham is a babyface, Luger's a heel. Luger went on to hold that belt for a long time. He ended up dropping the title to Sting. And by the way, Luger ended up faking the United States Championship because he just won the world title on the show, and Sting went on to win the United States title the following month in a house show. So, and he ended up dropping it to Rick Rude. I think it was at the Clash in November. I think that was, I think it was after after Halloween Havoc. So yeah. Moving on to the main event. The main event. Why is it the main event? Beats me. So this is supposed to be originally it was supposed to be a 6-man tag team match. Now it's just a mixed tag team match. We got Arn Anderson and Paulie Dangerously, the future Paul Heyman, or aka Paul Heyman, I'm supposed to say, taking on Rick Steiner and Missy Hyatt. Originally it was supposed to be a 6-man tag team match. Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, Paulie Dangerously taking on the Steiners and Missy Hyatt, but they change it, and they change it on this show, in this match, and currently in this match. So basically, they changed the match. So basically, Barry Windham was basically got moved from the card, basically fill in for Ric Flair in the World Title match, and also Scott Steiner suffered a bicep injury. And also, changed the match again. Changed the match again. And I heard, I watched Tony Schiavone's podcast about this show. He has no idea about this. You had the Dicks, Murdoch, and Slater basically escorted Missy Hyatt out of the arena. According to the Mayland, wrestling, not wrestling, but the Mayland Athletic Commission, that women cannot fight men in the ring. What the fuck? So it's just a handicap match. So yeah, Pauline Dangerously, Arn Anderson taking on Rick Steiner. Short and simple, Rick Steiner got the victory, and that was it. Close out the show. So if I was booking this, I'd rather have basically switched the match around from the card, so you have basically have this match be the second to last match of the show, and have the world title match as the main event to get the fans go on happy, because the fans really like this match. But no, it was just, what the fuck is this? I don't know, I don't want to get into it. I'm losing my brain cells reviewing this, so it's just basically, why are they doing this? Oh my god, I'm losing my brain cells, man. I'm gonna do my final rating. So my final rating for the Great American Bash 1991, I give it a 2 out of 10. This, you know what, fuck it, let's get 1. Fucking shit. I'm sorry, this is shit. This is technically way better than Great American Bash of the year 2000, the last one in WCW history. At least you don't have the Human Torch fight. You don't have a Human Torch match, an old man kissing a model, and also a random heel turn. It's just the matches in the good, Morton versus Gibson. That was a good match. The six-man elimination tag team match. That's also good, and also the world title match. But actually, the Steel Cage wasn't got involved in this match, but those matches were good. It doesn't make me to go, wow, I need to watch this match again. No, they were decent matches. Really 3-star quality matches. The OK is the OK. Yellow Dog versus Johnny B. Bad. That was okay. It didn't have enough time. And Diamond Stud versus Z-Man Tom Zink. That was okay, but wasn't anything gonna be. It's not gonna be a fantastic match. But wow, just fucking bad. There was a lot of shit on the show. The scaffold match was a dud. Oz versus Ron Simmons, bad match. The lumberjack match, the lumberjack match was shit. Sorry about my swearing, but it is shit, by the way. It's crap, rubbish. Ali Ganti versus One Man Gang, crap. That's 5. I think Sting versus Nikita Koloff, shit. That was crap. And also the main event, it was changed. It was supposed to be a 6-man mixed tag team match. Steiner's, like I said, Steiner's Missy Hyatt versus Arn, Wyndham, Heyman, but instead they changed it and made another change. Missy Hyatt cannot wrestle, so that was shit, And also Flair, basically, Flair, no shows. We want Flair all night long. He's not coming back, folks. And by the way, he ended up returning at Super Bowl 3. So this show, I'm guessing this show, people want refunds. Yeah, this show at the time, probably it was about $30, $40. This show received about 145,000 pay-per-view buys. If they had lost a half or a quarter, that's a lot of money that WCW yanked out of the pocket. They cannot compete. I don't say this show was the dark times of WCW just because Flair, basically he's gone to the competition WWF, because as modern time, the WWF basically had the star power, because you got Hogan, had Savage, Warrior ended up leaving the company due to pay disputes. And then you got the upcoming stars, the breakout stars in the company will be stars in the 90s and beyond, like Bret Hart and The Undertaker. You got stars, you got Sting will basically carry the company. Yeah, they end up building stars like Vader and Ron Simmons and Luger. And then Luger ended up going to the company, leaving WCW. But yeah, it was you could say the dark times of WCW, but no, way better than fucking WCW, like way better than 1995's WCW and even WCW 2000. But I don't say 1991 was a worse year, you know. Like in the hit, like a review Starcade shit show. Super Bowl was a good show. Hell in Havoc, yeah, Hell in Havoc's in the middle. Yeah, I place it in the bottom. Wow, it's just like I'm not gonna review it ever again, man. This is the only time I review it, man. It's just like, yeah, this is a thumbs down of a show. You know, it's just with bad match, some good matches, but it's just what it is. You know, it's basically, yeah, best of times, worst of times in WCW. So anyway, so hope you enjoyed my review of the 1991 Great American Bash. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash like button, click the bell, click the like, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, I'm going to get one more Great American Bash show to review before this month is out. It's not in the 90s. We're going to go to the 80s. This will be under the NWA banner. This is technically the first Great American Bash on pay-per-view, because I think the other two were kind of like closed circuit television. And this is technically the last show under the GCP era, because before they got bought out by Ted Turner. Yeah, I'm talking about the 1988 Great American Bash show. This is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later. And that's my review of the 1991 Great American Bash. We want flair. But yeah, this is a thumbs down show. You know, better than Great American Bash 2000, but that's not saying too much.